had to start with that clip. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Racing Revelations. We are going to wrap up a crazy weekend in Monza. I'm joined with my number two compadre out of the podcast, Samuel. Sam, how's it going?
Good. I'm Sam.
And then we've also got Jackson tonight. Jackson.
I am not Sam. I am Jackson.
He's Steiny.
How is everyone feeling?
We're doing great. We're going to give a shout out to our guy Isaac that
He's a DNF.
is a DNF
Did
this
not
week.
finish the week.
Did not finish the week,
Logan
but he'll be back next week. He'll be back
Logan
next
Sargent.
week.
No, Logan Sargent's gone forever.
Yeah. Isaac will be back next
Oh,
week.
Yeah.
He pulled a stroll.
He pulled a stroll.
No, let's try.
No,
Yeah,
he
okay.
pulled a
Yuki.
Yuki.
Yep.
R.I.P.
Made about 8 laps. And
Yep.
then
So I'm gonna run through super fast, quick highlights of the week.
Bring
We'll
it.
talk about it after. Okay. So we started the week. McLaren was 30 points behind Red Bull in the constructors. The Aston Martin safety car crashed in the Parabolica,
absolutely wild.
Love it.
second to last turn. Ferrari drops their all-black race suits, which we go crazy about, and then they drop their red car with black numbers.
It's just a big letdown. Just a big letdown.
Horner and Red Bull seem to be MIA literally the entire weekend outside of free practice one.
I think they probably joined Sergio with wherever he's been lost for the last 6 months, six races.
They've joined him at the
They've
Mexican
joined him.
restaurant.
They're at the Mexican restaurant.
Been on vacation.
Lewis says in an interview before we hear official news that Kimi is who he thinks, and he's thought this all along, that Kimi is who he thinks should get his seat going into next year. Kimi then hops in Mr. Antonelli. We'll refer to him as Mr. Antonelli.
Yeah, because we are probably the only people in the world that have ever referred to him as a mister.
Yeah.
So, Kimmy, this is a sign of respect to you.
Yeah, you are a certified 18-year-old dog.
Yeah.
All right.
A legend.
Kimi hops in the Merc for FP1 and then crashes the same turn of the Parabolica.
We didn't
as
have
the
to bring that
safety
up.
car.
We didn't have to bring that up. We had high hopes.
Hey,
Kimmy's the man. He's a
had-
certified dog, and the brother crashed. We didn't have to bring up the crash.
He had one great lap. You know who
And
else
he
had
was
one great
moving.
lap?
Lance Stroll.
Logan Sargent.
Then Kimi is then confirmed on the socials by Mercedes to take over Lewis's seat for 2025. Lando takes pole. Max looks extremely deflated after he secured a nice P7 in
Brother
quality.
looking like a flat Stanley.
Mattia Binotto, our guy,
Our guy.
was seen was seen in the Kick Sauber paddock, which obviously, as we know, he's going to take over once Audi comes in.
The good news about that is you can't fuck up a strategy when you're already in 19th and 20th.
That's the thing. Is like, I mean, honestly, leave it to anyone.
Get in at the ground level
Yeah.
type thing.
Mattia is starting from the ground floor. He physically cannot get any worse, which I think is what he needed.
You can't-
Honestly, his lack of maybe self-awareness, strategy, and maybe overall just thoughts about racing when he was at Ferrari is kind of what led him down the wrong path, we'll call it.
Hey, but he's back, baby.
He's back.
He's kicking it now.
I
kicking it.
actually really like Binotto. I wouldn't blame any of Ferrari's stuff on them, but hey, we all have different takes on it. What was that?
I think there's an F1 car outside of our house right now. Brother ran into the side of our home, I think.
Wow. Okay.
We're going to keep going. Stay on track.
Carlos's 30th birthday on Saturday, I believe it was.
Yes, it was.
And it was Colapinto's first race taking over for our boy Logan.
I
That
was impressed.
What
all happened before the race. That all happened before the race.
A lot.
A lot.
Shout out Frank.
A lot.
Yeah, shout out our boy Frank for finally getting his shot.
Yep. Frank the Tank.
Yep, Frank the Tank.
So so we're gonna hop right into this new segment that we've cooked up. Checking out tweets from the week.
Starting off tweet of the week. Tweet number 1 from a random person online that goes by the name V8. Kind of catchy, but I'll give him that. Lando Norris is nothing without a rocket ship, and this season shows that. That's why it's infuriating that his talentless ass is the one with a rocket ship. And then we got our boy Leclerc X16. I think we have a spelling mistake in there.
Leclerc.
Yeah, Leclerc. And he said, you can also rep Oscar, and he is currently way behind Lando in the same quote-unquote rocket ship. The thing that jumps off to me here is that this brother's calling Lando talentless. I don't think maybe he honestly, maybe he just awoke from a coma and has missed the last like
Half of
2
the year.
years of F1 and realized that this brother has zero skill. That's my initial thought is maybe he just woke back up. So let's give him maybe a little slack.
Maybe he needs a V8 to wake up.
Dude, he needs something because this brother's
Nothing like
brother's
the
got
smell.
brother's got a cat photo as his thing there. It's a big miss. It's a big
like
miss.
the smell of racing fuel in the morning.
Big miss by this guy.
Dude, six years or whatever Lando spent with McLaren sucking ass, and now he's good and everybody hates him.
Yep. But apparently his ass is talentless. I don't
Okay.
get it. Next one. I think there's going to be a theme for this week. Next one is from our friend Verstappen's 97. What a surprise here. It's coming from the worst team on the grid, the worst driver on the grid.
Second worst.
Lance Stroll, baby.
Yeah,
Lance
Lance
Stroll,
Stroll and then Max. Just freaking idiots. All right, here we go. I fucking hate Lando Norris. And then we have KTH0099. Really creative name. Really need to change that. I hope she knows that she can change that name, but based on her tweets, I don't think she knows. She goes, "We fucking hate you too." And then he responds back, "Okay, great." And then our boy Pato's just discombobulated by the whole conversation, feels bad. He goes, "Oh no." I think F1 Twitter is just the wildest place I've ever seen in my entire life.
I love it.
I love it. It's just toxic.
Everything
and
is just about hating each other.
it's all hate. It's all just pure hate.
Well, I mean, that's just Twitter
and
formally.
then you just
yeah.
got like Haas in the corner, like with like 4 fans.
Yeah, and they're like, we just love Chipotle and crush bulls and
You get race bands.
yeah, and I think our boy Gunther probably gets more press on X than any of the Haas guys do. But I don't know.
Next
Fucking
one.
hate Lando Norris. Here we go. Next one. I never thought I would see so many F1 fandoms united with the sole purpose of hating Lando Norris. And let's face it, the guy is insufferable, egotistical, untalented, but above all, a terrible winner. And then he cooked up this nice Knights at the Round Table looking image for us. First of all, this brother's delusional. He is absolutely delusional.
So bad.
I
Dude,
mean, come on, man. Like, why? What has Lando done to make people hate him? Okay, McLaren obviously had a rough week.
Agreed.
Ferrari came out of nowhere and won the whole thing.
Wild.
But what the hell did Lando do over the weekend to have people freaking out like this?
I am fully convinced that people automatically jump on the hate train the second somebody starts winning. If they have the best car and they start winning, and I know Lando hasn't been winning a ton, but they have the best car, people hate him.
What do we want here though? I'm just like, I don't understand who this person and who the Lando hate club on Twitter. Who are they rooting for?
Well,
Do we just want to see Verstappen again every single race?
Well, I'll tell you what, there's a night at the round table. It says AM fans. I would assume that those Aston Martin fans are looking for their boy, Lance Stroll, to take his seat, and that's why they're uniting arms.
It's also the smallest sword in that photo because
it's probably made out of
never
wood.
going to happen.
Probably made out of
made out
wood.
of wood. It's the Minecraft starting axe is what it is. It's just I just don't understand it. I don't get it at all.
All right, next one.
Lando's getting trashed.
Lando Norris.
Yeah,
hate
there's
account.
a whole account dedicated to Lando Norris hate. Obviously, they're very popular, about 220 followers.
From Liverpool. I like
Of
how they
course.
put their location. Liverpool.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Shout out the Merca_pool, Lando Horse hate account in Liverpool. Hope to never meet you.
I think they're big Mercedes fans.
I just can't comprehend the Lando Horace, the
Horus.
Lando Horace and the Lando Norris hate. But you know,
Hey, you
people
start
are
to-
insufferable, and there's going to be a lot of hate towards Lando. But Lando, we always have your back here on the pod. We always got you.
Dude,
We're-
what a segment, man.
Just a dog. Lando's a dog, and he needs more respect.
I will
And
say,
people need to appreciate him for like, hey, the brother's young. He's going to be here for a long time. So y'all better get used to it. That fan club of hate's going to grow.
I think next year they're going to be surprised when McLaren's winning a shit ton of races.
I would agree.
I want to clear the air. You're calling him a dog?
Yeah, Lando's a dog.
You think he's a dog?
Strikes me more like a wiener dog.
Yeah. I'll live with you on that, Camp. I don't think he's a dog yet. Does he have potential if he did the right things? Yes. But for now, I think he's in the Dachshund
In the doxing
Dachshund
category.
era. He might be Leclerc's dog. He might be
He could
Leclerc's
be.
son.
He could.
True, he is.
His
He was
Chewini
last
or
week.
whatever Leclerc
Yeah.
has. He's a Chewini, I
The
believe.
hairy weenie.
What do we think about Leclerc winning this week? What do we think about Ferrari?
Loved it.
Is that your guys' like? What's your favorite part of the weekend? Race, non-race.
Dude, just the Ferrari strategy. They killed it.
They did.
Which I don't think any of us, I mean, we all sat here and watched the race, and I don't think anyone in their right mind thought that was going to happen.
Shout out to the Tifosi.
Yeah.
Tifosi, whatever the fuck.
Dude, they showed out. The podium celebrations were amazing. I'm sure that Rome and Monza and Imola and everywhere across that country that loves Formula One racing was just having a night.
Who would have thought?
Just Campari till 3 a.m. Just Aperol spritzes. Forget the Aperol spritzes in the afternoon. They were doing those bitches all night long. A little grappa to end the night. Throwing some peachy pasta. Dude, it's a heyday. They had a heyday in Rome this
No
weekend in Italy.
cappuccinos though.
Dude, they didn't need that. They didn't need the caffeine.
Dude,
They
they're
got
partying
enough
all the way
liquid
from,
courage.
No, but you can't
Rome
have
to
cappuccinos.
Milan.
Just everywhere.
Only 2 cities I know in Italy.
What'd you say? Rome and what?
Milan.
Well, that's where Monza is, or close to
Yeah.
Monza.
Partying
So
from there to there.
Yeah.
you got it.
Across the entire boot.
So you think Ferrari got it right, or do you think McLaren slipped?
Both.
I think.
I think McLaren should have done the same strategy.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's great in hindsight.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anyone thought going into that race that it was going to be one stopper.
I'm amazed that he was able to make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the interesting thing, Daniel Ricciardo ran on the same tires for 40 laps. He had some penalties. He had a handful of penalties there that kind of hurt him.
There were some
But
penalties this weekend.
those odds from last week of him podiuming, we'll pop it back up if you're watching on the YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube right now.
on the YouTube.
Yeah, on the YouTube.
On
You're
the
watching
internet.
on the internet and on the YouTube streaming platform for video. He had some interesting odds, and it honestly, he would have beat those odds. It would have been a good bet, but the penalties kind of took him out. But props to him for running 40 laps on the tires he did.
Shout out to his mechanics and stuff and all of his guys, his pit crew touching his car when they weren't allowed to.
Yep.
I
Yep.
love it.
We were
Feel bad.
watching
Just
it,
a
and
rough one, man.
I mean, at that point, he had already had. I don't know if he had both or just one of the penalty.
He had
No,
had a 5-seconder.
That was the
And then they
second
added,
penalty.
And then they
yeah.
added a 10-second.
Yep, that was the 10.
So he already
Which
had
is
the
harsh
5
for that because it's not even him.
Yeah, but he already had the
get it.
5-seconder, and he was in like 15th, 16th at the time. I think it's like, oh, cool. He went from no points to no points.
Yeah. But
So,
I mean, I think at the end of the day, that for me at least, the highlight of the weekend was Ferrari figuring out, getting their head out of their ass, and figuring out, hey, we can pull this off.
How about K-Mag getting points with the 10-second penalty still?
and then,
Getting DQ'd
and then
or
race
getting
ban.
getting race
Race
banned
ban.
for next week.
Yeah.
Dude had a great week, minus the last part.
Yeah, minus the good old removal.
He continues to
race.
show like that he's very good and also just a complete moron
Yeah,
sometimes.
dude. Shout out to the, what is he? Is he Finnish?
K-Mag?
Norwegian? What is he, Norwegian?
Danish?
K-Mag is Danish.
Whatever. Shout out to the Danes.
Yeah.
The
The
Danes.
homies.
Yeah, I mean, what sticks out to you, Matthew, from the weekend? What's the big takeaway?
Just more so McLaren for me than I mean, yeah, like it's they're calling him the Prince of Monza and stuff, and obviously, what better than to see a red, and like there was a meme I saw and it was Gru looking at all the minions, but the minions were red, and it was like this is Charles looking out into the crowd. But no,
To see the Tifosi.
for me, like I'm still locked in on where are we at with McLaren and Red Bull, and
But they're close.
yeah, but it's just little stuff like this I think could add up in the end of what did I say last week of, and actually to their credit, I think they're standing very strong on their hill of these papaya rules, as we'll get into as well, that we heard a bunch for the first time, at least for me.
I don't think that was a new term. I think even Crofty and
They were like, what the hell?
they had no clue what
Yeah.
that even meant.
So I think they're doing a good job of putting boundaries up and sticking to them, and really in the face of because it's a net positive weekend for them because they've picked up points on both the drivers and the constructors championship. But to me, like I said, this is why I brought this up 2 weeks ago now. They have not won a constructors in over 25 years. And the last driver that they had to win was Lewis in 08. So we're already at 20 years, or 16-ish.
It's been a long time.
So my point, what I'm trying to get at, is just them not maximizing is my takeaway of you've got a guy, but again, that's where the papaya rules come in. So let's talk about that.
Should they have switched? At this point, I think when you look at it, you have Lando and Oscar. Neither of them are going to win the race. Oscar, you really think Oscar cares if he gets a P2?
So there was what was the differential there in time? It was like 3 seconds, 3.5.
Yeah, for argument's sake, it was just 3 and 3. So it was 3 from Lando, or 3 from Oscar to Lando, and then another 3 from Lando back to Carlos.
We talked about this when we were watching. We were saying, all right, should he be switching? Should he be switching? I don't think it's a risk they take. I understand from the standpoint of, yes, we want Lando to get more points for the Drivers' Championship, but dude, think about anything that could have gone wrong on that switch. They slow down, he catches up. Carlos is then closer to both of them because they're gonna have to pull there, and they're gonna have to do it at a specific area on the track. I think it would have caused more problems than it would have created more points. I mean, it's going to create more points, obviously, but I just think in the grand scheme of things, the detriment that could have happened and the negatives that could have come out of the whole situation are way worse than the positives.
I think McLaren has given up on the Drivers' Championship.
You think they're just worried constructors?
That's what it seems like, and that's fine. Again, that's why I say if they have a stance on it and they commit to it, me personally, with my big high horse sitting here on this couch, I have no quarrels with it. But other people obviously feel differently.
Yeah.
Will Buxton being one of them, he was vociferously
saying they needed to
on
switch.
Dude, what a word pull.
Just saying, what?
What a word pull. I love
Vociferous.
That's a good one. I had it on my toilet paper today. So, but like he was big time on like this. This can cost them. This will cost them almost. He was saying.
He's saying for drivers.
Just for the championship in general. He's like saying, you know, he was really, I don't want to like put words in his mouth, but it came across that he was very much like, you guys need to have a 1 and 2, or you guys aren't going to get the job done. That's
a good point.
I think the move that Oscar pulled was a great move, money move, dangerous move.
Yeah, and I don't think...
He hits Lando. Lando even said after this, he goes, if I don't break that exact second, he goes, we're hitting each other and it's 2 DNFs.
Yeah.
Yep. And then at that point,
it's McLaren
they're in a bad
where
spot.
I'm like, dude, if I'm on that pit wall, I'm going, Oscar, sit behind him, and if his pace starts to become too slow, you switch. Yeah. Or you make your move in a DRS zone. You don't make it on one of those turns,
dude,
man.
And Lando didn't see it. No one's
so dangerous.
I mean, we saw it happen with George.
And
we saw it.
It's a great move, but it's just one of those ones where it's like, maybe the race would have been a little different if he didn't make that move. Maybe Lando picks it up on the next lap and off into the sunset.
What is your guys' interpretation of what we've heard about what papaya rules are? If you had to explain it too.
I think it's just meaning, hey, race, but don't be fucking morons. That's my interpretation of it, and that's based on what Crofty had said as well. Is like, hey, look, it means race, but don't go to the point where you guys are going to potentially crash into each other. And I think we heard the term papaya rules after Oscar had overtaken and said, hey, you guys are free to race, papaya rules. I think that just means don't be dumbasses. Be smart. We understand there's ego involved in Formula 1. These guys all want to win. They're professional athletes. But be smart about it is how I interpret it.
Mm-hmm. I think Lando is also thinking to himself at that situation that he actually probably made the smarter move, and he could have committed way more into that turn. But I think he actually played it safe instead of taking them both out. And I think that's the problem. I think McLaren, I love teams that go, you know what, fight each other, make it a challenge.
Yep.
But sometimes it gets to the point where it's just like, hold off, defend. If he's slower on the next lap, go for it.
Yeah. And from what, you know, Zach Brown was saying, it sounded like that was basically the entire race fit within these papaya rules, except for that first lap.
That first
pass.
overtake.
He said, that's something that we will talk about. Yeah. So it, that just kind of makes it seem like, okay, that might have been on the line of these rules. Let's talk about that, Oscar, and let's not do that again, essentially. And let's stick to something like that, because that seems to be the more sensible thing. But it is interesting. Yeah, they are not doing this traditional 1 and 2 that we see with a lot of the teams, especially the ones that have, especially in such a tight race.
Dude, I mean, what are they, 30 points back?
Well, it's
from what?
It's less now.
They're like 8.
Or they're 8 points back, and then Ferrari's 30 points.
Yeah.
See, I don't think that's getting enough conversation either, is Ferrari's 30 points back now.
I just think people are like, it's always the same. Ferrari pulls one of these, and then they'll go 17 and 18 somehow in qualifying.
But exactly. It's like,
but then the mental lapses.
Start waving the red flag that like Ferrari's back, and then next week it'll be like, either a shitty quality performance or, dude, it's Azerbaijan, so somebody will hit a wall, somebody have to make a freaking gearbox change. I mean, there's such a multitude of stuff that could go wrong, not just next week or like a week and so
next
from
race,
now. But then isn't Singapore right after?
Yep.
The two, like, in my opinion, the two hardest outside of Monaco, like the other two hardest freaking tracks of the year.
My opinion, though, too, and like the flip side of this is we're talking about Ferrari and how they've kind of been, they have this, they're prone to messing it up, it seems like, the past few years. But part of me may start thinking that, part of me may start kind of feeling like McLaren is showing glimpses of that with what happened this weekend. If they don't figure out that 1 and 2 or figure out how they're going to have them race in a way that is promotive of the driver championship and the constructors championship, we're going to start to see the same thing at McLaren that we have the past few years at Ferrari. It's just, it seems disorganized. It seems drivers want different things, which is fine. Obviously, drivers want different things. But at the end of the day, as a constructor, you got to get your team on the same page. And that's what's like a worry for me, is I hope to God we don't see the same thing happen with McLaren that we've seen with Ferrari the past few years.
So you were saying that Ferrari was prone to fuck ups and everything else.
I think so.
I mean, to kind of get it right.
I don't know if they're starting to get it right, but Ferrari, we've seen it all year. They'll have glimpses of greatness.
That's what I'm saying.
That's where I'm like, it's still Red Bull's season to lose. It is not McLaren's to win, and that this past weekend solidified that, because their strategy was all over the place.
So you think Red Bull should be the favorite, even though they're not?
I think Red Bull should be the favorite to win this year.
I think Red Bull's done in the constructors. I think it's over.
Yeah.
You think McLaren just wins it?
I wouldn't be surprised if Ferrari passed them.
Well, that's where I agree with you.
That's what I think, it's Red Bull's to lose.
That's where I agree with you, that maybe the story that isn't getting enough run is how close Ferrari still is. But at the same time, me personally, that stock is still too volatile for me.
I think McLaren bounces back next week, and I think, hopefully, this is just a hope, I hope McLaren gets a little bit of a bigger brain and goes, we're prioritizing Lando, because Lando stuck with it for 6 years of sucking ass, and Oscar and Lando next year, whoever we think is the better driver, we're going to prioritize them. You got to have, this is the sport where you kind of do have to have
the 1 and 2.
A 1 and 2, and it doesn't have to be like absurd, like like what they did with like Lewis and Valtteri, where Lewis could be 12 seconds back, and they go, Valtteri, it's James, slow down, let Lewis pass. It could be one where it's like, hey Oscar, you're like 2 seconds ahead of Lando, and Lando is 25 points behind in the championship with 3 races to go.
Let's
Why don't you
slow
let
a
him
little
pass? It's 7 points. Just get a brain sometimes.
Who do we think is the most stable out of those 3 teams then? Ferrari, McLaren, and Red Bull. Who is the most stable?
Ferrari, I'm going to go first. McLaren for me, just because they have the performance right now.
They don't have a 1-2. They don't know. It doesn't seem to.
But they have the performance.
They have the performance.
You can speed your way out of.
But those two dudes are
issues.
Those two guys are gonna fight like hell.
I don't think so.
I think you could get Oscar to come in a little bit and go, if you keep fighting him like this, it's going to be a problem.
That's a good point. Oscar is the most level-headed, probably driver on the grid.
Last week, and that's the papaya rules. Like now, I'm going to start freaking. I'm going to have a poster in my room, freaking with like the 10 Commandments.
So
but
the
it
papaya
says
rules.
Papaya rules. I just think there's no way that they get on a Danny, Rick, and Max level, or like, to me, that was the most extreme in the recent
rivalry
years. And then, maybe the most extreme obviously was Lewis and Nico back in the day. But then Lewis and Valtteri had some issues, even though it wasn't even the same. it's kind of an uncharted territory since Nico and Lewis, because Max and Danny wasn't actually that close to Max. He was just trying to fight to keep his seat at Red Bull. And pretty much the same in my opinion. I don't know the numbers on it, so y'all can come after me, but pretty much the same with Merck, where Lewis and Valtteri were having a little bit of, like, not run-ins, but like issues, and it really wasn't that close. It was like, dude, Lewis is going to win all year.
The problem is you got a driver in Lando who's fantastic, and he's a number one driver, and then you have a driver like Oscar, who by the start of next year could probably be a number one driver on 9 of the 10 teams.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, that those teams, that sometimes it's a problem to have 2 insanely good drivers. And it sounds crazy to say, but sometimes it's safer to have a guy that you know's like a Carlos. I hate to say it, but Carlos is literally the perfect number 2 at Ferrari right now. If you threw him on McLaren with Lando, I think he would be content with
being number 2.
Yeah. And I hate to sound that way.
So you're like,
because I think Carlos is a number 1 driver too.
So you think Carlos Sainz is the Scottie Pippen?
Yes.
Maybe not that bad, though.
No, not that bad.
Michael doesn't win without Scotty.
That's the thing. He's like, I feel like
Charles can't win without.
This is actually a great comparison. I think the Oscar Lando situation is kind of like a Kobe Shaq situation.
Okay.
2 ones, 2 guys that can carry, 2 guys that know they're just as good. I think Lando's a little better, but 2 guys that know they can win on any day.
I just think Oscar's so young.
That's what I think McLaren needs to go and say, dude, you're 20, whatever, 21, 22, I don't know how old he is, 23, and go, you got a long time.
Yeah.
And maybe next year you come out and you're just guns a-blazing, you're better. And I think McLaren should go, if you're the better driver, we're going to prioritize you.
Yeah.
This year, you're not.
You're not.
And don't take offense to it, because
I'm getting attacked right now.
5 years less experience. But
yeah, I can kind of see where you guys are getting at too, because to me, it's very clear that even if it's just not possible for Oscar to win the Drivers' Championship.
No, it's not.
So why are we? I just don't get that too. Yeah, I mean, especially this weekend. I still think that they should have switched. But apparently that's not part of the rules.
I would have told Oscar to not even pass Lando. And
In
I know
the first
I'm
place,
not the
you're
kind of
saying.
guy that I love racing. I think you should race. But it's kind of at the point in the year where it's like, you got 7, 8 races left.
You got to be smart about
You
it.
got to make a decision on if you're not gonna go for the drivers. Make it clear. Tell them both, like, race like hell. We're not going for it this year.
Yeah.
But it's like in lingo. It's like what it's called, lingo world or whatever.
Limbo?
Thank you.
Yes.
Limbo. They're like in limbo right now where they can't make a decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing for me that still has me thinking that where I say it's Red Bulls to lose, they seem to have a lot more maturity across that team
With Red Bull.
So like you have, and obviously like we clown on Red Bull and the whole Christian Horner situation, all that. Sergio Perez is a very experienced driver. And as much as I hate Max and dislike the whole team as a whole, they're much more mature and they've been in Formula One longer. That's what I'm worried about McLaren. And that's where I think Ferrari and Red Bull have that edge.
Where they have a clear cut, like,
They not even that they have their 1-2, but they just
they
as
know
as the season progresses. I mean, it's like a lot of sport. It's look at most sports. Experience matters. Like, yes, you come in, you're fast. Oscar's fast as hell, but will it really benefit them that much in the long run, or will that experience and knowing when to overtake, knowing when not to overtake, like when Oscar overtook there, like that slight level of experience of like, hey, that could have DNF'd 2 cars there. Will the experience that Max and Sergio and Shaw and Carlos have? Obviously, they have a little bit more than the McLaren guys. Is that gonna pay off? That's what I think is going to be the most interesting thing to see.
I also think the game McLaren is playing right now is actually going to create tension and a rivalry and maybe even a hatred between Lando and Oscar in the long run.
It's it.
Crazy to say, but if you don't lay down some ground rules, it's pretty much like an open fist fight. Good luck.
Yep.
A bar fight.
Yeah. And someone's going to bring a knife
Yes. Or sword.
or a katana.
Yeah.
There's probably a middle ground of telling Oscar that he's 2, but also giving him permission to race. But I mean, yeah, you guys bring up a good point. I don't know if it's not necessarily my stance. All right, let's get into everybody's favorite segment.
Sounded like a real anthem. Shawty saw my wallet, now she think I answer. Whoa.
So we're going to start it off with Mr. Monza, Yuki Tsunoda, which is indeed not Mr. Monza. If you know, he finished DNF this week. I think last year he didn't even start. The year before that, he didn't even score points. And then I think the year before that, he either didn't start or didn't finish.
Yeah,
so
he doesn't like Monza.
I don't think he'll be back next year for this race.
Monza's not for him. Other thing I'm going to say is I don't think the Stone Island shorts that he's wearing are for him.
Those are tough.
Like Stone Island, but I mean, I'm not vibing with it.
It's got like the Target.
That's the Stone Island logo.
Yeah, I know, but it's got like
screws on it. And
yeah, they're like
stuff.
shooting pants. Like, what are you going to go to the shooting range with?
Yeah.
I like it. Simple.
I think
The tee's cool.
the T is sick.
cool.
It says Yuki Tsunoda on it. I don't know if
badass.
I don't know if that's his logo or just a logo with his name on it, but it's a badass tee.
I like it. It's fitting.
Great
Everything is fitting.
accessories,
Gotcha.
all around fitting.
Interesting take.
Carlos,
The fuck's he got on his hat?
The pepper bucket
yeah,
hat.
Spanish peppers, man. He's
Dude, I love the black though. Like, why did Ferrari just?
That black Ferrari shirt.
is tough.
Money.
I gotta run with it.
Sam might have one on order. He didn't
Yeah.
even tell us.
Sam's a huge HP fan, so he would have been
yeah.
all into
That's the
that.
only bummer though, and I think a lot of people on the socials will agree the HP logo is really dragging down.
Why couldn't they just
I don't know. The
ask
shell
HP
logo for me is pretty big.
Why couldn't
It's
they-
pretty large.
Yeah,
It
why did
fits
they have
the
to give him
colors.
why do they have to give him the background though?
The shell, I don't
Like,
understand
just
it.
make it regular. I wish that they could talk to HP and go, hey, can we make the logo like just a black background for the week?
Yeah.
HP
Yeah, I
was
don't
probably
know.
like, go fuck yourself.
What does HP stand for?
Hewlett Packard.
Nice.
Yep, that's a win for the boys.
All right.
I don't know. Pepper hat. I think it's an interesting take. Like the bucket, but
It's a homage to Carlando, to the bromance, because Lando always wears a little bucky like that.
interesting.
Yeah, I think. Who
Yeah.
knows?
I like it. I'll give it to him. Fitting.
The god, the king, Jackson's king.
He is
That's how
not
I'm
my.
gonna be showing up
He
to a
is
wedding
not
real
my.
soon.
He is not my king. Love him as a driver. Good dude off the track too. I think all of us would agree that Lewis is a great overall dude. Fitz a little wild.
I never met the guy.
Fitz a little wild. Well, you're missing out. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. Fitz crazy for me.
Jackson loves vests, so I'm surprised he's not more enthusiastic.
Dude,
about this.
I don't know, man. It's a little honestly, can we say it's a little basic for Lewis?
I don't know. I like it. And so we have a wedding coming up, and I think all of us will be wearing that as groomsmen.
We should.
Yeah, we're just not wearing shirts underneath it. So I'm going to go on a limb and say the bride and groom may not appreciate it, but the wedding's not about them.
Yeah.
It's about us as groomsmen looking the best we can possibly
up
look.
late?
And we show up a little late, fashionably late, and we don't wear
like
tees. I like
It's
it.
just like we're gonna roll. We should call ourselves Ferrari men instead of groomsmen. We gotta
like
look good, but maybe not race good. You
Yep,
know what I
and
mean?
maybe never show up on time, but we will always be there eventually.
Have
May
a
not
good
be-
strategy where you bend over, rip your pants.
Yeah, I like
that.
it. I don't know. It's a little too. It's just kind of basic. It kind of shocked me for Lewis.
No, I like it. I think Sam's right. I think we should roll with it for the wedding.
I like
Very
it.
P8 look.
Yes.
Finishing P8 kind
Yep.
of look.
All right, Joe, the other fashion icon
I'm
in
gonna miss
F1.
this guy.
He looks like a Bond villain.
Does the glasses?
Doesn't
are
he look
crazy.
like a James Bond villain? I don't know if it's like the slicked hair and the. I think it's the slicked hair and the glasses for me.
Is it slicked or is it just he actually combed it today?
I think he did comb it compared to
Yeah.
last week, which is a big step.
Hey, he's only got
Maybe
8
his
races
girl,
left. He's gotta make it
girlfriend,
worth it.
Yeah.
girlfriend's back in town. She says, "Dude, you gotta Joe brush your hair."
Dude, the glasses give me Maui Jim vibes.
I like it.
It's
Fitting
they're
minus the glasses.
They're bold. They're bold, but
Yeah.
I think honestly, Joe has some good style.
He
Joe has
does.
some good style.
Just maybe not my taste. It's a weird, not weird. It's an interesting mixture of American streetwear and Asian streetwear.
Brother's the Baskin Robbins. He's got just flavors at the
31
yin yang.
flavors.
31 flavors, 31 different combos. He throws it together.
All right, another one from Yuki earlier in the week. This is He looks like a power lifter, man. Freaking
He
oversized.
he looks big.
That's what I'm saying, bro. It's a power lifter fit right there. Cargos.
Well, I mean, his shirt says huge with an O.
This is the tee he should have been in for Hugo. Who was it? Who were we roasting last week with the Hugo boss? Who was wearing Hugo? It was Oscar, school kid.
Yeah.
Showed up
like a kid.
give Oscar a cool tee. Yuki's not the only one that deserves it.
Well, dude, not to spoil it, but
What did Oscar pull up in?
I mean, they dressed him up as a school kid again.
Dude, what are we doing,
They
bro?
even
Brother
gave him
looks
the
like it's
backpack that
his
Sam has.
first day of college. He is walking from the dorm, and he's like, God, I'm stressed as hell. I don't know anyone here on campus. And he's just trying to figure it out. Come on, man.
I agree.
I can't.
I know a lot of college kids that walk to classes with a $250,000 watch on.
For real. For real.
Minus the watch.
Oh, okay.
Minus the watch.
The watch was a gift, Sam.
Hey, you guys are going to be proud. I learned some. That's not linen.
What is it?
Cotton.
Wow, genius. That's a big win after last week.
I'm
That's a
sure
big
there's
win
some
after last week.
polyester in there as well.
Probably. He's more of the athleisure kind of guy is what it seems like.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
All right, we're going to Ocon.
I like the one on the left.
He pulled up with the misses.
I think Sam likes the misses more than the.
I think the misses
more than
took one
Esteban.
after Lewis.
After Lewis. She went shirtless under the vest as well.
I respect it.
Honestly, I'm not an Ocon guy. I think he's got glimpses of good driving in F1, but I think overall maybe he's.
There's a reason he's going to Haas next year.
But dude, this fit is immaculate. I like it.
I mean, immaculate.
I love the pattern.
It's so bad it's good, I think is what
I like the
Jackson's getting
pattern.
at.
I like the pattern. I feel it looks like a
digital
Call of
camo?
Duty digital camo.
It looks like a guy. It looks like a dad that's trying to be really like hip and in.
I don't know, dude. I overall think it's pretty solid.
The Costco dad.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, the freaking Costco guys.
Don't give me
man.
more ad time in.
I hate the Costco guys.
Yeah.
They're just weird. They weird me out.
So to get a hot girlfriend like that,
That's what you got to wear.
I just have to be in Formula One.
You got to be in Formula One. You got to wear Call of Duty digital camo printed pants and jackets.
Dude, you're about to catch me on like a simulator here. Look at 2030. I'll be in Formula One.
2030.
2030.
We got to get Sam on the carts.
It's a bold move. I don't know. I think I like it. I like it. Maybe I'm the only one in this room, but I think it's a bold fit and I like it. I think her fit's good too. I'm a fan all across the board.
Very European summer.
I think she's good.
Okay, next
All
one,
right, next
Sam.
move to the next one. Oh my god.
Oh my God.
It's
dude.
Edna from The Incredibles.
Edna
What the
mode.
hell, dude?
Dude,
Who
what
dresses George?
Tommy
Dude.
Hilfiger.
Oh, why? It's terrible.
Dude, it's bad, man.
This one,
This is infinitely more worse than last week.
yeah.
Last week he pulled up looking like Hillary Clinton. This week, brother's pulling up looking like Gru.
Hey, big fella 1113. Remember last week how you said George's fit was fire? How about now, motherfucker?
Yeah, what you got now, big fella? I mean, I respect the pants. The white pants are cool, but dude, what? I just can't. The turtleneck. Brother's wearing the uncircumcised shirt.
Yeah.
It's just not a good look.
The
He looks
jacket.
like a cartoon character.
Yeah.
It's bad.
I have nothing against the jacket. I mean, I'm not a leather jacket person, but it has its place in style. The Where's Waldo striped turtleneck is
Ugh.
bold.
I just think it, dude, and it
BOLD.
doesn't. I don't think it helps either. Like, we love Georgie, but his paleness doesn't help it very much either, bro.
Well, I mean,
It's just I just don't know.
you don't have to make everything about color.
What?
Just kidding.
I just
we're
like can't. I don't know, man. The whole thing is just a miss for me.
I think
I
it is
agree.
another James Bond villain.
Yeah,
Yes.
I just don't know what we're going after. Like some of the Tommy Hilfiger stuff, like the simple stuff, like give me the colored collars, bring those back, because like this is just we are
like-
just pushing
Their
at this
team
point, man.
shirts,
Are fire.
like them.
They're awesome.
Mercedes gives a lot of freedom to the guy's style, and sometimes you'll have Lewis wearing football pads, or sometimes you'll have George looking like this.
I just don't even know what this is.
It's interesting too, based on like I think weather when I think fits, and I'm like, dude, I know it wasn't freezing over there. It was pretty toasty.
This just ruined his entire Formula One season. His win, gone. They should just revoke it. They should just cut him from Formula One.
Dude, the fit's horrible. The fit is horrible.
Yeah.
It honestly may be the worst one of the year.
Yeah, it's on the same level as Ocon's.
Ocon's in the last photo?
Just kidding. Just know you liked it.
I thought it was cool. That one's just a miss for me.
All right,
That's
Hulk.
not linen.
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is.
I think Sam is right.
It's
Hulk has just been killing it with the like.
It's questionable, but it doesn't look like it's linen.
Oh, it's suede.
It might be.
No, it looks like a terry. It's like a terry towel
Yeah,
material.
which is kind of sauce.
Huh?
Sam just learned a whole new world.
Just like
like
a bath
like
towel.
a bath towel. It's like that softer kind of material.
Yeah, like very thick, but also like very like summery,
Kind of
and
rough
light.
too. It's not very like soft to the touch per se.
All right.
Yeah.
Got a good riddle for you real quick. Ready?
Yeah,
What gets wetter as it dries?
the track.
I got nothing.
A towel.
What kind of towel? A terry cloth.
A terry cloth towel. I don't know. I think Hulk has been killing it with just the basics lately.
He is. I mean, he knows he's a mid-tier driver, and he's just like, well, we'll pull up and look good.
Hey.
Respect.
He'll get a podium one day.
Where?
Audi.
F4?
Yeah, F4.
The new F3 car.
We'd all be happy if we saw Hulk getting a podium.
Danny Rick is. This is a very simple but straight to the point.
Yeah. We're going to Florida this weekend. We're
Yep.
going boating in Miami kind of fit.
Yeah,
That's a
look at
future
that
Red Bull
necklace.
driver kind of fit.
Chrome Hearts would be my guess, is what most of the guys wear.
Did you say future Red Bull fit?
Future Red Bull driver right there. That's his fit.
Well, we'll just keep moving on then.
Team basics again.
Team
like
Basics. The only reason I wanted to point this out is because I would assume these are a linen blend of pant for Sam.
You want to hear it? I got a crazy thing for Sam too as well. Very commonly, everyone stopped wearing white linen after Labor Day.
Yeah, and
Today is Labor Day.
Today is, yeah.
Today is Labor Day. This pod will probably be reaching the world on the day following Labor Day. And after that, no more white linen is allowed to be worn
Ever again?
until summer.
I think people say spring.
Springish.
Spring solstice or whatever it is.
About Easter time is when the
I
linen
just
can
thought it
pop
was no
back out.
green after Labor Day.
No green. I've never heard that one before.
That's St. Patrick's Day, whatever.
I never heard no green.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
This is I don't love this either.
Lando.
Why is it see through?
Well, there's not much fabric, is what it looks like.
He just
Yeah,
wanted to
it's like
show
they,
his
like-
nips off.
They like
It's a
did
jersey
half
knit.
the shirt.
Yeah. It's half price.
He probably is probably a Temu order.
Shout out Timo.
Don't shout out Temu.
Yeah, they're
They like to
scums.
steal like credit cards and stuff.
Yeah,
It's
but don't
awesome.
shout out Temu. Don't give them the light of day.
I think this is fashionable, but it's not fitting for me.
Yeah, not fitting.
I'm not a fan.
Next one.
Had to finish it off with another banger.
Look at those jeans.
Dude,
Doesn't get more American than that.
Dude, for real.
Ripped
What do you-
jeans.
what do you
I'm
need
just
on
not
the
I'm not a fan.
He should bring those jeans back for Coda, but then have like those people who like on Etsy that like paint on jeans, paint like a freaking bald eagle.
like assless chaps.
You're telling me you want Lewis Hamilton to show up to Dakota in assless chaps.
No, I mean if he wants. Not mine, so tell him no.
I don't know, man. The glasses, the brother's got the John Lennon goggles on.
Shout out John Lennon.
Shout out John Lennon, according to Sam. I'm not a fan of the tanks. The tanks and jeans are just like
Is that a tank or is it a vest?
it's a vest, but
Vest
it's
without
a shirt vest?
shirt.
I don't.
Man, Lewis is just out here confusing us at this point.
He's confusing us, but Lewis is more stylish than we'll ever be.
Yeah, true.
I can't wait till he gets to Ferrari and every fit he has to wear has to have some red in it.
Or black, depending on what the team gear is for the week.
True.
Yeah, or
A little
blue for
they'll mix a little Dynaco blue in for him.
Yep. Well, that is another week of Is the Fit Fittin', our unsponsored section. So if anyone wants to sponsor us, morons,
Yeah.
appreciate
Shout
it.
out Kohl's.
Yeah.
If you're looking for sponsors, Kohl's, we're here.
Kohl's and Amazon Web Services.
Yep.
Kmart, I heard you guys aren't in business, so whatever else you got.
Bring
All
it.
right. What do we got next?
Sam's favorite segment.
Betting on fast cars.
Boom.
Call me Bucky, niggas lucky that I'm innocent. If I didn't have no morals, I'd be menacing. Bitch, I get high. I ain't looking at the clock, still falling like rock.
And remember, guys, if you're in debt, you can always make more.
Double down.
Nothing like taking out a second mortgage.
When in doubt, press.
Yep.
When in doubt,
Okay,
right.
we're going to start with the Drivers' Championship.
42,000. What about Carlos? Why do they even include people on the board?
You want to read
People
this
make
off,
those
Sam?
bets. All right, we got Max at minus 195, Lando at plus 130, Charles at plus 5,000, Piastri at plus 7,000, Russell plus 42,000, and Carlos Colito Sainz at plus 42,000. So really, it's a two-man race.
Yeah.
Who are we putting money on? Obviously, I think y'all are putting money on Lando.
What is he? He's so actually that's what's interesting. So I know he got third, but he actually still gained the same amount of points as if he would have gotten first and Max would have gotten second this week with the fastest lap. So he's still gained another 8 points. So he's pretty much exactly where everyone thought he might be at the end of this week. So I genuinely think if Lando keeps this up, coming down to the last race, he'll be up.
Yeah.
So-
I actually might change my answer. I might go Max. I
Yeah.
feel
So Max is currently at 303. Lando's at 241. And Charles is at 217.
62 back.
I just don't think there's enough time.
65.
I don't think there's, like we talked about, I don't think there's enough time for them to catch in drivers.
well, I'm a little worried that Max, not necessarily Red Bull as a whole, but Max might put together a couple good races here. We've got 2 street tracks coming up next.
I don't think they do well in Singapore. I think they could do pretty well in Azerbaijan, though.
Yeah. Baku
Any reason?
City. Just a
Just a gut feeling.
just an inkling.
It's-
Just Red Bull gives you wings in Azerbaijan.
Just a little tickle in your elbow. Little inkling.
Yeah, they'll tingle down there.
That may be for other
I
reasons. You should
think-
get that checked out.
Will do. I think if McLaren finally grows a pair and says Lando's the one, I think Lando takes it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I thought maybe that they would they'd prioritize it, but yeah, like we said earlier, it seems almost like they're just kind of like all we care about is constructors.
At this
And
point,
if y'all want to race, you can race, but we got to win the constructors.
and that's the dangerous part too, is we want to win the constructors. You guys can race, just don't make dangerous overtakes like
Yeah.
they do.
But Paya rules.
But that's
Paya rules.
It's just I don't know. I don't understand it. Like if this comes down to the last race of the season and Lando loses by 4 points, 3 points, I'm gonna be like, this makes perfect sense. This is the one. That last race was the one race to just go.
Yeah.
They needed to
P2,
flip.
P3. You aren't getting P1.
I think the worry was just what was going to go wrong if they did flip the drivers.
What douchebag has $1.44 in his betting account? That dude must do terrible.
Yeah, this is who you're taking advice from, by the way. 3 dudes, usually 4. Shout out our boy Isaac.
All right, constructors.
Wow.
McLaren
We saw a
got
big
better
shift in odds. Big shift in odds.
I think Checo just killed him. And I would take Ferrari.
Look at the Ferrari bet.
That's
Plus
what I'm saying.
2,300.
Yeah, McLaren's at the top at minus 550, Red Bull plus 410, Ferrari plus 2,300, and then Mercedes plus 14,000.
I love how they included Aston Martin on there,
And
too.
they just cut everyone else off after that.
Yeah. I'm sure the Strolls paid to get their name on there.
I'm sure.
Yeah, tons of value with Ferrari there.
Yeah,
Dude,
I mean,
put $10 down. Let it ride.
if McLaren starts fighting and they get a couple DNFs,
That's what
Ferrari's
Yeah.
it's Ferrari's for
Use-
the taking because then
use
it's
a-
another 2v1.
Yep.
It's literally a 2v2 v1.
But
Yeah.
I will say, Ferrari has got to get a lot of things right.
Agreed.
For it to go well. But, dude, for $10, use a little bit of your free bets. Place those free bets on Ferrari.
Yeah, we'll
Ride with it.
we'll put our link down in the description of the video, description of the podcast. You guys
Yeah.
can get some free bet money on
Yeah.
us.
Oh, wait. I wish that was possible.
I'll give you that $1.44.
Maybe one day. I think we'll probably get a sponsor from the Arizona Department of Gaming.
Yes.
Maybe they'll let us give out some money to people.
Yes.
To
If you have a gambling problem and you live in the state of Arizona, please call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to a number which I cannot read.
Yep, but that's okay. Or just don't do that.
Yeah.
And no, actually though, like be smart. Don't be
Yes.
idiots.
Don't do an Aston Martin bet. Don't do a Lance Stroll bet.
Yeah,
Don't do a
'cause-
Logan Sargent bet. Do a Charles Leclerc bet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Be smart. Make money or lose money.
We don't really care.
Okay, so we'll probably do another pod by then, but let's close it with our podium picks for Baku.
I like it.
Jackson first.
All right, I'm gonna go. I think Max wins. I'm gonna go Max 1.
Wow.
I'm going to go Lando 2. and I'm going to go Carlos 3.
Okay.
I think McLaren's finally going to grow a pair and go 1-2s. So I think Lando goes 1. I'm going to take Charles at 2. And then I'm going to take Verstappen at 3. 3 different guys on the podium, 3 different constructors.
I thought you just said that they were going to go 1-2.
No, I meant like they're finally going to solidify Lando's
who's their
Oscar's
1?
2.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they're going to prioritize.
Gotcha. Interesting. So we all have so far. We've all gone 3 different teams.
Yeah, and there's a lot of ways I could go with this. The smarts in me is I'll take Max winning, and then I'll take the 2 papayas behind him. I think he's just had good success there. I think he'll just put together a hot lap.
Yeah.
Might even get pole. I'm not even going to make an official bet on that. But I think Max wins, maybe, settles the sinking ship, at least for another week.
Gives the Red Bull fans a little bit of hope.
Well, yeah, and then most importantly, extinguishes all the belligerence over at the Tifosi that Ferrari's back, all this.
Man. Dude,
Ferrari's back. Double DNF.
Yes, exactly.
I'm still calling it. I think Charles has a great race.
Okay.
I think yeah.
I think we'd all like to see that more than we like to see Max win.
I think everyone in their right mind would.
Apparently, nobody
if you want to
wants
see
Lando
Max
to
win
win
again, you're probably either live in the country of the Netherlands or are living in Mexico.
Yeah.
You just want Sergio or you want Max, and that's you live in those people's country.
Or
that's
it.
it.
Or they really love Red Bull.
Yeah.
For what right reason would anyone like them?
Because
I mean, their drink's probably okay.
Yeah.
It
never had
like,
a Red Bull, but
come on,
I've never
man. It's
read
just
the
like I don't
probably
know.
just because they didn't like Merck winning for 7 years.
Yeah,
and
now they
won.
just want the horn dog to win. Yeah,
think-
let's just root for terrible people.
think-
That works. Good
Hey,
job,
man,
guys.
It was all alleged. Okay.
Okay.
I cannot be making those
True.
accusations.
I need to calm down.
It was all
I need
alleged.
to calm down. It was all alleged.
He's an alleged horn dog.
It was. We know he's a real horn dog, but it was the acts were alleged.
Yes.
Those reverse dick pics were not real.
Oh my gosh.
No, I got to say this, though. I think it's really weird how the hate has shifted so much off of Max towards Lando.
It's crazy,
So much.
right?
It's
Dude,
like
it's just
everybody that hated Max now hates Lando. And if Max wins this next race, I swear it's going to go like this again. It's just going to flip right back to him.
Yep. Everyone just wants to hate on someone.
Yeah, it's weird.
That's it.
Like,
Why
hate
can't we just
Stroll.
love each other? Yeah, exactly. As I say, why can't we just love
Yeah.
each other?
And I'm gonna preface. I'm gonna say something about our hate and our distaste and our angry and belligerent comments towards Lance Stroll. It's all out of love. That's
Is
what
it?
I'd say.
Dude's an F1 driver. You can't
Dude's
hate
an
on him that
F1
much.
driver.
I mean,
The brothers, and for the jokes we make about participation contracts and everything, at the end of the day, we're just having fun.
you can't hate on
He's one of the best drivers in the world. Give him the respect.
Dude has a
Give him the
podium.
respect that he deserves.
Dude has a podium.
Debatable.
Are there some guys that may be more entitled
To that
a
spot?
Yes.
Yes.
But he's in that spot, and he's a Formula One driver, so you can't.
Yeah, it's something none of us will ever be until Sam takes it over in 2030, racing for Hyundai when they have their team in F1.
Well, Sam, you don't even have to be good. You just have to have money.
That's what I'm saying.
If
When
we
this
can
pod
just
gets big enough,
crowdsource you,
Racing Revelations will buy an F1 team. We will buy Haas.
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 And we're going to use Hyundai as our engine supplier.
Yes, and our team will be
Hyundai.
called. Our team will be called
RR.
track
Racing
stars.
Revelations.
Wow,
Track stars.
unbelievable name choosing we got going here.
Figure it
Unbelievable
out.
name choosing. We
Wimbledon.
got some time to figure it out.
Guys, that's Monza week. That is our last Italian race of the year. Tears.
Maybe we'll pop open Aperol Spritz.
Probably not.
Don't forget to submit your Wimbledon ballots.
Yep, that's what I was gonna say. We've got a week off before Baku. We're down to 6 races left.
9.
6, 7.
We were at 9. I believe we're at 8. 7 or 8.
Okay.
We have no idea.
Make sure to let us know if you got any questions. Make sure to leave a review on the pod.
Yeah.
Drop a sub on YouTube if you're
Yeah.
watching this.
Yep. Bang that sub button.
Yeah. Smash the hell out of the like.
Smash and bang the sub button.
Pull a Christian Horner and bang that sub.
That's how we're ending it from here on out. Bang the sub button.
Yep. All right, guys, that's a week. Have a great week off.
May have something surprising this next week, but we'll see.
Jackson, Have a great week. Sam, you too.
You too.
Stay safe out there.
Isaac,
we'll see you guys.
Salute. We'll see you next week.
All right. See ya.
Peace out, homies.
I love you guys.
Coming from the bottom, now stepping on the neck. I've been working, I've been grinding. I need all of my respect. Get it, dollars, yen, euros. Now really cashing check. Mezzanine is on the deck. Mezzanine is on the deck.